Welcome, my fellow Helldivers, to another episode of the Saltdivers podcast. I am Salty, your host. I'm joined, as always, by Dutch Butters, just getting off his 8-hour live stream.
I'm tired.
It's exhausting.
That was a long day.
It was a long day.
I know there's a lot of streamers out there that do like 10, 12-hour days on a regular basis, but they're insane.
I'd get bored. I played for like 3 hours
Yeah.
with you, and I was like, I think that's enough for the day. Like, I'm good.
Well, you know, most of our streams go 2 hours at the most.
At the most,
Because
yeah.
they're late. I'm getting off work, and it's wind down time, hanging out with the boys. And
Sure.
It's like, you know, all right, I just need to like chill
by playing the most stressful game.
That's it. That's it. On level 10s now.
On level 10s. Yeah. Dutch is upgraded to level 10s.
But
just pure chaos.
Yeah, but that's how I end our days. And doing an all-day stream yesterday was super fun, and it was a test. That was the main purpose of doing that yesterday. On top of everything else, but I just wanted to see if I could do it, because you know the end game here is to do that 4 or 5 days a week.
Yeah.
At some point, I just wanted to see what it felt like to do an 8-hour stream.
Good deal,
and it felt pretty good. So,
today's podcast is mostly going to be about the year in review.
Yeah,
it is the end of the year. It's New Year's Eve as we record this, and we're looking back at the full year of Helldiving and the ups and downs and all that stuff. We also have a guest in-house today. Brendan is here. He's a new player, first-time player, longtime fan. He's a member of my family. He's in town, and I was like, dude, you got to come play Helldivers. So I gifted him the game. I brought him down to the studio. I hooked him up with a PC, and I was like, let's go. And I dropped him directly into level 9s and 10s. Like, I'm not fooling around. You're on my ship. You're gonna experience the whole game. That's it. You're not gonna chip away.
Promises of leveling up very quickly.
You did. You got to level like 8, right?
Is that quickly though?
That's pretty freaking fast.
Maybe it was 80. I would have been more happy.
80. Oh, that's gonna take you. That takes months. Takes months. Because the higher the levels get, the more XP you need to level up the next time. To a certain point, when you're at like over 100, it takes you like 15,000 XP to get there.
I hit like 106 yesterday, and it's not that bad. It's really not that bad.
Well, if you're running 10s.
If you're running 10s, it's not that bad.
Yeah.
And
that's the key.
I know there was a time when I said I'm not ever going to play anything past like a level 7, but if you get to like a level 100 and you're not doing 10s with your crew,
just retire.
Because they're feeling a lot better.
Yeah.
You know, that was something that I told you, I don't want to end my day stressing out, because when you guys would go play 10s and I'd jump in, there was something that happened that just, it was annoying. It was,
you would get annoyed with us
because it would just be like nonstop death, killed, you know, and that's not fun, but something clicked in the last few weeks. And
well, you had that training session with Spartan.
That's true. That was part of it.
You had the training session with Spartan, and ever since then,
I guess
you've been bumping up your difficulties.
Yeah. So
he made something click in your head.
Yeah. So yesterday when we did the long stream, we did nothing but 10s the entire day.
Only squids too,
but
right?
we only did play squids.
Yeah.
And
squids, so level 10 squids is like
squids are
it's kind of like a level 6.
Yeah. It's because there's only half an.
Yeah. There's not that much.
So
level 10
basically killing a lot of zombies.
Yeah.
So
I got flame build. I did a full flame build. Every single weapon I had was flame. I had the primary flame, the secondary flame, the secondary and the stratagem flame gun, and the flame sentry, eagle airstrike napalm, and the orbital napalm.
Yeah.
That's all I ran the whole mission. I got like 600 kills.
Yeah, it was crazy.
It was insane, and it looked super cinematic. Like everything was on fire. The whole.
Is that playing against a particular like type of enemy?
It's actually flames are pretty good against most.
I was surprised how good they were.
Yeah. The only thing I would suggest not taking flames against is probably bots, but even sometimes the bots is really good because you basically bypass all their armor,
melt their insides,
and you melt their insides, and then they die anyway. But the issue with having a flame is it's super close proximity. You have to be within like striking distance basically to be effective.
Mm-hmm.
So it puts you at risk of getting your shit kicked in if you're super close to an enemy that has a freaking machine gun as an arm.
Yeah.
So I usually don't go against bots like that. But squids, it's mostly zombies. They're soft. They're squishy. They just kind of run at you, and you just...
Bots will shoot flames back at you.
Yeah, they will. Yeah, they definitely will. But Brandon, before we get into the main topic for the end of the year review, I want to hear your experience as a first-time player. What was it like jumping in with the A team, which is our group of friends here, on the highest difficulty the game had to offer?
I was wondering what you're saying. We were playing like, welcome to the A team. Like, is that like a thing?
Yeah, it's a thing.
It's a thing.
It's a thing.
We're making it a thing.
That's awesome. Yeah, no, we were talking about it before we started the show, and I was saying like my first impression watching you play was, man, this is really complex. Like, there's a lot of moving parts to this game.
Oh yeah. Because I was at home on my laptop. I had it on the 75-inch screen, and I'm like, okay, hit the bumper and then hit the D-pad and follow the combination. He's like, what?
Up, down, left, right.
No, it's fun. Like, the first couple of matches, I was trying to figure out just how to move around and like the whole jumping thing and diving.
Yeah.
Like I get stuck crouched and like, what am I doing? Why am I not moving? So that was fun. And then the stratagem stuff I didn't really get that until we started playing more that evening or whatever it was.
Yeah.
The next day. And like, okay, I see how it works. But the funny thing is, 4 hours into the play session, we're almost done. And I'm like scrolling through the upgrades, like to buy new strategy. I'm like, I can scroll down farther. I don't just have to go one by one. Like, and there was so many. I was like, oh man, whatever. Miss out on all those cool things. But yeah, and when we were in the games playing, like with Styx and Theron and all those guys.
Yeah.
Like watching everyone else do their thing. I'm like, I'm trying to like stay away from the hordes and stuff. Because everyone's like calling down like strikes and like they're like, they don't exactly how to throw them and all that stuff and land it in the right spot.
Timing right, so when something walks into it when it hits,
And I'm like listening to like them talk about this different stuff. Like I'm like, there's harvesters they were talking about. There was stalkers. I'm like, what are the stalkers? I'm like, these giant things are like,
dude, this is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. We were on a bug side because I wanted to show him each faction, so I took him on each side of the map just to kind of give him a full rounded view of the game. And we were on level 9 or 10 bugs, and there was a giant ass stalker nest. And I'm like, Theron, don't blow it up until we get there because I want him to see a stalker. He's never seen one before. And they're all like cloaked and weird spider looking things and their stripes. They never spawned. Theron stood next to that nest for a good maybe 3-5 minutes while we were hoofing it from one side of the map to the other. And he's like, I'm waiting. Nothing's here. And I'm like, what do you mean nothing's here? And he's like, nothing spawned.
As soon as he shoots something, they'd probably start popping.
I don't know. It was like a weird glitch, and I was so disappointed because he still hasn't seen a stalker yet. Those things are freaking.
Oh wow, there are some weird glitches still in this game.
Yeah,
there is. Yeah.
I like the ones like when you like come up on a bug and you like stare at each other.
Dude, my favorite is when the bot
and you kind of start mirroring.
Yes.
Each other.
Yeah.
And you're like you walk right and it walks left. It's like you're doing this thing. Like you're looking in a mirror with each other, and you're like, okay, just pow.
Dude, my favorite thing. My favorite thing. I don't know if it's a glitch or if freaking Pilested's over there doing it on purpose, but when I'll be fighting, I'll be working my way into a bot base or something like that, and I'll just drop a Hulk, right? One shot right to the face with the senator or something like that, and it's just blah, blah, done. And there would be just a regular old trooper, not even the ones with the arms, just the regular old little pistol trooper, and he looks at me. And he starts going like this. He just starts walking backwards. And I'm like, that's right. What?
There's some really fun, like little AI touches in this game. It's like even in the Illuminate, they put in a lot of really fun.
Oh, with the zombies?
With the zombies, and they'll do the salute.
Yeah.
Or there's like the what is the I think it's Ace Ventura Pet Detective where he gets stabbed in the leg.
Oh, yeah?
And he goes,
do they do that in the game?
They do that.
No shit.
Yeah. You'll see it if you'll start seeing it.
Dude, that's crazy. Dude, I would love it if we had an Ace Ventura emoji for like when you come up off the thing and you go, you do that the little head twitch thing that he does or whatever. That shit would be so funny.
Yeah, there's a lot of little subtle things on all three factions that you'll see.
Yeah,
you're like, holy shit, did that bot just do that? It's pretty funny.
Yeah. So of the three, out of your experience, which ones did you find the most satisfying to play with?
Oh, it's really hard. I like the bugs just because I'm a StarCraft fan. And that reminds me of the Zerg.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah.
I get
a lot of people get that. A lot of people get that.
Well, that was kind of fun. I was talking to Dutch about that. Like, they did a beta test one time of like a first-person StarCraft. And I was like, this must have felt like. I never played it.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, so that was pretty cool. Otherwise, I think the bots.
Yeah.
It's pretty fun. But there was one instance where, and it had happened to others too, but they got smashed under the ground, right?
Mhm.
And they got stuck, whatever. I was sitting here, and I think a tank got dropped on top of me.
Yeah.
And I got stuck underneath for like a good 5 minutes until I finally, I don't know what happened. I got out of it, but that was fun. The giant tanks and what those like big old mechs.
The Hulks?
The Hulks.
With the red eye in the middle?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I had, so my favorite weapon was recoilless.
Old reliable, baby.
Those are fun.
Old reliable. I dropped it down. I was like, okay, listen, we're gonna fight bots on a level 10. You need to have a recoilless rifle. Like that is a standard issue. So I always packed 2 different stratagems, one for him, one for me. So I drop him a recoilless, and I'd be like, okay, whatever, don't use this unless the enemy is bigger than you. It's like if it's taller than you, shoot it.
Yeah.
But other than that, it's just standard, assault rifles or whatever. But we had a great time. We played for a long time too. It was good 4 hours or something like that. And we just cruised. It was a great time. Shout out to the A team for helping us out.
Yeah, that was a good.
I love it when I'm like, hey, I'm training a cadet. And they're like, really? Let's go. Like, there's
no, is he 8? Is he 8 years old? So one of your kids?
So it's holiday weekend. I got a bunch of people at my house, got a bunch of kids around, and my son will be like, Dad, I want to play Helldivers. And I'm like, I'm too busy doing a bunch of other shit. I'm like, all right, man, go ahead. And I'll log into my account. Before I know it, he's got a full squad of the A team, and they're all just playing. And I'm like, do they think I suck?
Or
do they think my 7-year-old is really good? Like, what's happening right now? And I'll be like, hey, just so you know, guys, you're playing with my 7-year-old. They're like, oh, that's why you're terrible today. I'm like, yeah, that's
he
why.
did that with me when I was playing too. He started going like do the voice chat. Like, oh, guys, it's not me. It's not me.
Yeah.
He's like, I don't know if they're here. They're here.
Running around.
This is my 7-year-old.
Yeah.
I'm not this bad at the game.
And it's really him. Oh God, I'm having a bad day. This is Junior.
Yeah, it's just Junior. It's my excuse. All right, let's talk about the year in review. This game came out in February.
Yeah.
And then immediately social media just blew up with it. And what I got introduced was through Instagram. I would see clips of these freaking epic battles. And I'm like, what is this game? This game looks dope.
Yeah, I remember that.
And then I sent it to you. And we had already been in talks of like, you have a limp Willie over there? What's going on?
Something.
We were already in talks about starting a gaming channel.
Yep.
It's something that's been on our plate for a long time. We're like, oh, we need to do something, but we don't know what game to play. And then Helldivers drops.
It took over social media.
Right.
Everybody that was in our social media circle from the movie podcast started playing this game. Everybody. And I'm like, what is going on? Because I wasn't really playing any game at the time other than just my normal, whatever.
I wasn't playing games either. In fact, at that time, I think I told you, I was like, I think I've outgrown video games, man.
Yeah.
Because
we were both in dry spots.
Yeah, I was like, I'll pick up a game. I have hundreds of games on my Steam account. I'll pick one up and I'll start playing it for an hour or two, and I'll be like, this sucks. This is
and I was still in my World of Warcraft
withdrawals.
I'm not playing this any game. I can't get stuck in any game anymore.
Yeah.
Because it's gonna suck my will to live, and I'll get a divorce and all this stuff. And then I'm sitting there at my computer, watching Asmon Gold or something, and my Steam account goes bleep, and it's like, Salty has gifted you Helldivers too. And then and then you sent me a message, install that game we're playing right now.
Yeah.
I'm like, what? Okay.
Yeah, because what I did is because this game is so goddamn cinematic.
Yeah.
Like every moment you could clip and put it out as like a movie trailer. It's inherently amazing to watch. Like when you drop freaking bot ships down out of the sky and they go spinning and they blow up, you're like, oh my God, this is a freaking scene from Star Wars.
Yeah.
There's something about it that just kind of clicks in your head. So when I got it, I saw these clips on social media, I bought it, I played it, and I was like,
this is fun.
I'm getting everybody to play this game.
Yeah.
So I bought it for you. At this point, I think I've bought this game for probably 5 or 6 people, him included. I bought it for him yesterday.
Yeah.
I bought it for my other brother-in-law. I bought it for you. I bought it for a couple other friends of mine. I think I got it for, did I get it for R2? I can't remember, but just a whole bunch of people. I'm like, if you're a friend of mine, you're getting this game gifted because I want to play with you.
What's the general consensus from people you've bought it for?
Oh, they all like it.
Everybody likes it if they're into gaming. I've had a couple people who've played it, but they're just like, it's just a game.
It's not for everybody.
Yeah, and it's very repetitive because once you play, there's 7 missions total.
Oh,
7 combinations.
More than that, but
maybe
they're pretty much the same thing over and over.
Yeah, it's doing the same thing over and over. There's only so many biomes. There's no at the moment, which I think they are working on, at the moment, there's no real strong narrative. There's no like campaign single player type thing. So there's limited interest when it comes to that kind of stuff.
And every time they put something new in, it's for like a week. And then they take it away.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Because it sucks.
Yeah, it's so terrible. Yeah.
Arrowhead is a complicated development team.
Yeah, we'll get to that.
We'll get to that in a second.
But yeah, man. And then you said play this game, and I played it. I loved it. And 2 days later, we came in here to the studio to like record, probably a review of some shitty movie from 1976, and we decided not to do it. And I looked at Salty, and I go, let's go do a Helldivers podcast. And he looked at me and we went, okay.
All right.
Let's try that. And we just came in here and we knocked something out off the top of our head like we're doing now. And here we are 45 episodes later. And
and I think our first couple episodes, they got like over 10,000 views for a brand new channel.
Because it popped right in the middle of the, it was the big controversy with the, Sony stuff, I think.
It was the Sony controversy that really popped off. Yeah.
Yeah. It was like, that was like our second week or something.
That was the biggest, that was the biggest hiccup that happened in this game's early, like in the early part of this year, where the publisher is Sony, Arrowhead is the developer.
Yeah.
And they had put this game out on Steam to everybody. It was just on Steam in general, just everybody can have it. And then at some point in time, they posted an update where Sony was like, okay, you never required people to have PSN accounts.
Yeah.
Which is part of the deal that they signed with Sony, is for publishing this game, you have to have a PSN account. But Arrowhead didn't expect that many people to really care about this game.
Arrowhead doesn't understand PC gamers.
So during an update, a general update for the game, they just kind of slid it in there. So you log into the game and all of a sudden it would say, please sign up for PlayStation Network.
Keep in mind, there's like 400 to 500,000 people playing this game at any one time.
Yeah.
It was huge.
Especially at the beginning.
And there's like 11 million copies of this thing that have been sold. And it's been out like 2 months.
So how does that work with having a Steam-based game and having to sign into a third party?
It's a third-party launcher.
That's
so
the whole thing.
So like Epic Games is a third-party launcher. So you might have Fortnite on your computer, but you have to go through Epic Games in order to launch it. So if you have a Steam-based game that requires a third-party launcher like EA or whatever, you basically have to have an email address and you have to have your billing information go through PSN and all this other nonsense. And some countries, not this one, but in some countries, you actually have to have a physical photo ID uploaded to their service to actually access it. Like in the UK or something like that, I think that's true.
What did you guys end up doing while
the entire fan base said, fuck you, dude. Yep. Like literally everybody was like, nope, fuck you, uninstalled. Their reviews on Steam took a nosedive. Hundreds of thousands of people were like, nope, uninstalled, negative review.
But you guys were still doing episodes and playing?
We were talking about we were talking about it. And we were like, dude, this is crazy what's happening right now.
Game's dead.
Yeah, the game dead. It went from 500,000 players to freaking nobody. And Arrowhead panicked. Sony got wind of it and we're like, okay, maybe we don't have to do PSN accounts anymore because it was literally tanking the game.
What's Sony's benefit then if they're not getting more people to their user base? This is like licensing.
It's just like they're making money off of it because people are still buying the game and there's in-game currency that you earn and you can buy war bonds. So it's generating income, which I'm assuming they're splitting those profits with Sony.
If you go back to the charts from when this all went down, you can see the numbers go from like 400,000 people to 20. It was insane. And and they relented, and PC gamers, we won for the we're still part of it, still out there with the way these countries got blocked.
So the side effect of us just full on rejecting the PSN account was 180 countries got removed from the Steam list to be able to purchase the game because they don't have whatever nobody really knows the reason yet.
Say 180?
180 countries.
Like 170 or 180 or something.
Wow.
Yeah, that's a general number. Correct us in the chat. But they basically got banned from playing the game because they don't have the appropriate deal with Sony, or there's something I don't know the reason. I don't know the reason.
There's just these countries have different rules and regulations, and I don't know what all the answers are.
It's privacy laws.
I can't get into the weeds of it, but there's something that's preventing Sony from selling the game to these people in these countries, and I don't understand it all. I'm not going to sit here and pretend to.
Okay, so
look at
so
this.
here's the graph. Here, let me get let me fit to the fat cam. Okay, so here's the graph. You see the early start of the game when everybody was like, "This game is amazing!" Crazy reviews, going rave, and then the PSN happened right here.
Well, what's that bump up and down?
Which one? This one right here.
Those are
PSN happened. The blue.
This is okay. So this is within the same week. Within the same week, we had
the controversy created like the good PR.
No, the opposite. So the controversy created this massive downturn.
Okay.
Right? What is this? How many does that say? The numbers.
Negative reviews.
200. I can't remember.
221.
Oh, there we go. 221,000 negative reviews in May. And then when that happened, Arrowhead and Sony reversed the decision, took away the necessity for the PSN account, and then in the same couple of weeks, almost 100,000 positive reviews went back.
Yeah.
So people reversed the reviews or whatever, or new people went in.
Mine.
Yeah.
Mine's in that big blue part right there.
Yeah, because they reversed it. They were like, okay, guys, okay. Sorry. Won't happen again. And this little red blip right here is Escalation of Freedom.
Yeah.
When that update came out, because it was freaking, it was so terrible.
What was wrong with it?
Sucks again.
So, okay, so after the PSN controversy happened, that was in May. June was fine. Everybody was kind of just playing the game, having a good time.
Kind of toddling along.
Yeah, and then the
we had never
the vacation happened.
We never really fully recovered the.
No, we never really fully.
We still haven't. I mean, we're at a healthy spot right now, I think. But we're never.
We're 120,000 or
400,000
something like
people
that
playing the game, but we're at 120 or something like that.
Yeah, concurrent players. But anyway, so what was I saying? Okay, so during June was just kind of like a lull, like it was the calm after the storm with the PSN thing, and then the Arrowhead community went on the 6-week summer vacation.
Oh, the vacation.
The vacation happened, right? So they're from Sweden.
The
studio.
Yeah.
6 weeks.
6 weeks vacation.
Mandated Swedish vacation time.
Yeah, it's like everybody has 6 weeks off during the summer to go because it's freaking cold there 9 months out of the year.
To celebrate,
have
to take advantage of your warm 40-degree weather.
Yeah.
So
I think it's okay. It's a little sunny outside, so go ahead and go outside for a while.
Take a steam.
Go on vacation.
Yeah.
So there was a point where the game had no updates. There was very minimal work being done on it. Everybody was bored. There was no new missions. There was no new weapons. And everybody was like, what the hell, man? And Arrowhead announced, like, okay, guys, it's okay. In sometime in August, we're going to have a massive update. It's going to be really, really cool. Everything's going to be amazing. It's called Escalation of Freedom.
Yeah.
And they were hyping this thing up, and they were doing trailers, and they were doing all this shit, and everybody's like, yeah, freaking update, finally. Holy shit, it's been dry for weeks. And then the update dropped, and it was fucking awful.
Terrible. It's like, what is this garbage?
It was buggy. Yeah. The missions weren't fun.
They nerfed everything.
They nerfed everything. Like all the weapons were less effective.
Freedom.
I think we called it the escalation of disappointment. That's what we nicknamed it. We nicknamed it the escalation of disappointment, and it was just
more people quit.
Yeah, then the numbers dropped again.
We're like, God, nobody's playing.
You guys have reviews here. Do they have actual player statistics?
I could probably pull up the Steam. Yeah, I gotta go to the Steam charts. I'm gonna go to the fat cam while I type this in because I don't want to have to switch cameras at the same time. But anyway, go ahead, keep talking.
I don't know what to say. It's just like you said. The Escalation of Freedom came out and they broke the game. They nerfed all the weapons. It's just
what was is there any good out of the update? Any additions that
we got?
Was that when the Meridia Black Hole stuff was going on?
No, that was before.
That was before that.
Yeah.
Because it just it was just insane. And when you ruin a game that
well, for all intents and
barely hanging on by a thread as it is.
Yeah.
I'm honestly shocked that we're still playing because I figured they would have just given up. Okay, throw in the towel, write it off as a tax write-off or something, and move on to something new. But they didn't, and I got to give them a little credit for it. But they started this thing because like, okay, guys, we screwed up, so we need to come back in here and reset and think about things. So they did this thing they called the 60-day plan, where they basically said, we're going to take the next 60 days, we're going to reset, we're going to think this out, and we're going to fix this game in the next 60 days. So we're going, okay, the game sucks right now. We're going to give you your 60 days.
They couldn't roll it back.
No, you can't roll it back. So
well, their reasoning for that, because we were like, well, just unnerf the shit you nerf.
Make it back the way it was.
Just put it back.
Well, if we do that, then the code will be broken, and it's much more complicated than you think it is.
Yeah, you can't just Control Alt Delete and go back. You have to
because we're all out here. I'm like, well, just. A computer has a button you push. It's like reset it from 48 hours ago before you got your shit fixed. Broken. I just do that.
Also, it should be known. Brendan is a professional. You code for a living. Like, this is what you do.
That's right. I know these.
You work for a big corporation. You work on websites and stuff like that. But their game engine that they're using is old and outdated. It's out of use. It's out of service, and they've created this game in this game engine that no longer has any kind of third party support. So anything that they do in the game, it has to be all on them.
And when they bring new people in, they have to
train them on this outdated game engine.
Do you guys know what it's called?
I
don't off the top of my head. I'd have to look it up.
Somebody in the chat's going to tell us.
Right? Yeah, there's going to be 17,000 comments telling us which game engine it is.
That would mean 17,000 people watch this video.
Hopefully. All right, so here's the Steam chart starting from when the game first came out in March. We see a topped out at almost 500,000 players. And this is Steam charts. So I don't know if this includes
does not include the
PlayStation.
I don't think
so. It's higher than this. So consider PlayStation as well.
But their numbers look the same.
So we're looking at probably, I want to say maybe close to 1 million players together when the game first came out. Maybe between both.
I couldn't tell you.
Maybe. Okay. Then it slowly waned. Naturally people got bored with it, and then you get your basically your foundational players.
Yeah. When was the PSN scandal?
That was in May or June.
May, I think.
Yeah. So you see this big drop. And it goes even further down.
So they chose to do that at the worst possible
time.
It's like things are going down.
Yeah. Okay, and then
there's the Escalation of Freedom.
And then here's Escalation of Freedom right here. This happened. Oh no, this is October.
Well, that sounds about right, doesn't it?
Was it October? I thought it was.
I don't know. October.
I thought it was August.
Maybe, I don't know.
Anyway, Escalation of Freedom came out. It was terrible. October, something. What happened in October that had us drop this many people?
DSS? I don't know.
That was the DSS, which is another freaking flop.
What's the DSS?
The DSS was a huge in-game space station that was supposed to be able to be used as like a mobile Death Star for the Helldivers.
Yeah.
So you would support it by donating samples into it, and then in return you would get extra support planet side for your missions, so things would be a little bit easier. You'd have air support and laser support, all this crazy stuff. But I think what happened was the fan base of the game took the idea of the DSS and turned it into this freaking god mode.
Yeah,
we're gonna be able to dock. We're gonna have platoons. We're gonna have extra stratagems.
Arrowhead came up with this thing. They had this idea of this space station, and they never fully explained what this thing was going to do.
I think they did. I disagree.
Or maybe
with that.
they did, but
I think they told us exactly what it was, and we were like, not good enough.
And we took it to the next level. It's like we expected it to do what we wanted it to do, not what it was going to actually do.
Yeah, I think that's accurate.
I think is that right?
I think that's accurate.
So when this thing released, and basically what it is, it's a giant space toilet that you plug your unused samples into, push the flush thing, and then you get a free
orbital bombardment,
orbital bombardments or strafing runs when you're down on planet side for whatever planet that the DSS is on. So what happens is they roll this thing out, and we take it to a planet. We're all down there doing our thing. The orbital bombardments come, and they just kill everybody indiscriminately, including us.
It makes the game way harder.
Way harder, and we're like, what the freak is going on here? This thing sucks. But
it was funny because the progression system in this game. Do you remember when they went from 50 to 150?
Yeah, oh yeah.
So early on in the game, the highest level you could get to was 50, and so many people were capped out at 50 that they were like, we need freaking progression. We need this. We need this.
We need to make a game a little bit harder.
Yeah. So they made the game harder, and they gave us to 150.
Well, it was kept at 50, but they still went to level 10 for the.
No, it was only a level 9 at that point.
I think
level 9.
9 or was it 9?
That seems random and arbitrary.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. Welcome to Airhead. So they bumped up the levels to give people more progression, to give people a reason to grind. but then we had all these samples.
Yeah,
and once
nothing to spend on the samples.
Once you upgrade your ship to a certain point, you no longer have anything to use these samples on. So like me, I'm capped out on samples. I have
same with the medals.
The medals as well.
Yeah.
Once you have all the war bonds and you have all the upgrades, and basically you've finished the game, but it's still fun to play. So you're still playing it, but you're just playing it for no reason. So they're trying to give us a reason to go grind samples. Go on PlanetSide and grind those samples, guys, so you can use the DSS.
put the samples in the DSS. Put them in a little coin slot.
Put them in the coin slot, and you get a new bombardment. But it was awful, and it was boring. And for me personally, I never actually experienced the DSS because it was like a 48-hour cooldown after you get to use the orbital bombardment on that planet.
And it always seemed like the timing of it was when we weren't playing.
So you're saying that you collect samples in the game, and then you put them in the DSS,
right?
And then you get a bombardment, and you can choose a planet or whatever to.
Well, the entire community votes on what planet the DSS goes to.
Democratically get the vote as a community what planet that the DSS is going to go to.
Okay, and you were saying if you were playing on that planet when it was bombarded,
it would get
it would just indiscriminately just blow up the area that you were fighting it.
So it would, I think, if I remember correctly, and I don't know much about this because I didn't have actually any experience in it. I'm just going off what people have told me.
Same.
It goes off of the enemy population. So if there's an area that has a high density of enemy, it aims towards that.
Whether you're fighting them,
but you might just so happen to be in the middle of that fight, and all of a sudden the DS is like, and it just farts on you, and you friggin' die.
So first of all, I gotta say that's kind of cool that there's that side effect, like something live is happening somewhere, and you're playing, and then you're blown up. It's kind of interesting.
Well, the team killing aspect of this game is something that's it's a feature. It's definitely a feature. Because you can accidentally blow your friends away. I got vaporized by Dutch last night. But for me, like I never got to experience any of it because every time I would log on and go to the planet where the DSS is, it would be on a cooldown for 48 hours. And I'm like, well, okay, I guess whatever.
And the other thing is like this thing premieres and it's a big fart, right?
Yeah.
It just
because
we had to work for 3 months, almost 3 months, I believe.
Yeah. Close to
mission after mission to get the resources and stuff to make this station available. So it had been hyped up and hyped up.
Their in-game narrative was, okay, we have to take this planet away from the bots so that we can establish a colony there to create a research laboratory to create the DSS. So we would fight for 2 weeks to liberate that planet so that we could have the research station. And then they'd be like, okay, now we have to go on bug side and we have to liberate this other planet so that we can get enough oil so that we can ship it to the fuel to fuel the DSS station. So we'd go over there and we work for 2-3 weeks trying to
Then
work.
we had to go back to bot side to liberate a planet so we could set up a mining operation so they could get enough ore to
create the shell, the hull of the station or whatever.
That would go on the shells on the station so it could go through warp speed.
So
so the timeline, you're talking about weeks to months. It sounds really cool. Again, like the whole, like you have to go here and like the logistics and all that. But then, I'm sure you're gonna get to this. Once you've done all this, the community of 500,000, whatever, somehow democratically
40,000 at this point.
Somehow, though, the community votes on which planet to obliterate.
Yeah, you get this little thing. It says, choose what planet you want the DSS to go to. These are your options. And
so it's an actual voting, basically.
The actual voting.
Is there a period of voting, like hours?
Yeah, it's 24 hours.
Yeah.
Okay, so 24 hours of voting.
Yeah, and then
the community chooses.
It takes another 24 hours for, I think, the DSS
the ship
to
actually move.
And then it's there for like 48 hours or something
like that. So
meantime, I'm at work. I don't have any time to play during this period of time when the DSS is actually working. Yeah. Right. Then I finally get to play, and it's like, we're out of it.
But the other thing too
right now
is strategically, if the and again, the player base is not the best at strategically.
Terrible.
We are collectively really bad at working together.
Yes.
Because there will be a planet that needs to be liberated, and half the players will be on another freaking side.
I want to play Starship Troopers.
Yeah.
We're gonna go kill.
But let me finish my thought because it has to do with the DSS. So what would happen is we would vote on the planet that it needed to go to at the time.
Yeah.
But it takes 24 hours to get there. So by the time it got there, that planet no longer needed it.
Nope.
Oh.
Mission's over.
Mission's over.
Oh.
Planet's liberated, or we lost it completely, or it's no longer part of the narrative. So we would get there and we'd be like, well, shit, now we got to move it over there. So it would take another 24 hours to move it to the next planet. And it was good on paper, terrible in execution, which is basically the MO of the whole game.
That's Arrowhead's motto.
That's Arrowhead's motto.
That's Arrowhead's motto.
It's great on paper, terrible execution.
I feel like I do want to say, like, just as a newcomer to it, that the game seems really well thought out and designed on the surface. But I hear what you guys are saying too with these gripes, like with maybe the overall big picture.
Yeah,
right.
It's like it's probably challenging.
There's a balance.
So anyway, it got to the point now where we've had this DSS for a while, and people are just like hate it. It's like, so we're getting to the vote, and we're like wanting to vote to like send it to Meridia so it'll get sucked into the black hole.
We need to talk about the black hole.
Or
we didn't talk
we're
about
trying
that
to like send it into the gloom of the bugs. So like we can just like get rid of this piece of crap.
So there was a glitch.
It was really funny.
There was a glitch in the game where one of the planets that was inside the gloom, which is that big cloud over there that we're not supposed to access.
Yeah.
One of the planets in there was actually on the voting system. And people started voting to send the DSS into the gloom. They were like, get this freaking piece of trash out of here.
Garbage space toilet.
Get your corn out of my face. And the voting got up to like 30-something% before Arrowhead was like, oh shit. And they took that planet off the voting. They were like, nope, can't do that. And we were like, come on.
Come on now.
You bitches.
We're going to send it to Meridia next.
Yeah. So let's talk about Meridia because we skipped that. This is, to me personally, I think this is the peak gaming experience, was the entire campaign against Meridia.
Yeah.
So on the bug side, and I don't like fighting bugs. It is my least favorite part of this game, but there was a storyline mission-based thing that was all about this bug side Meridia planet. So we got access to this new technology called dark fluid. It was an offshoot,
not black
fluid, dark fluid. And it was like offshoot technology from the first galactic war, from the Illuminant that Super Earth stole and did experiments on. It was like some crazy weird. It's basically the red liquid from Star Trek.
Basically, yeah.
When they black hole Vulcan or whatever. It's essentially that. And we got a mission. There was a super colony. Or no, it started off with the TSS towers or whatever.
Well, that was
TCS.
like when we first started playing.
It was the first, when we first started playing, it was a TCS. So we'd go planet side, and one of the missions was we'd have to activate this big towering bug spray.
It
sprayed goo on the planet, and it was like, according to the Super Earth scientists, this will eradicate all bugs on the planet. So we have to activate as many towers as we can. So the mission,
basically giant cell towers that shot out Roundup.
Yeah, raid. It was raid. It was giant raid towers. That's real. And we did that for weeks, and then it was like something would happen, and they'd be like, "Oh shit! It turns out that this raid that we sprayed on everything just made all these bugs super powerful.
Yeah, mutated
them and turned them into these crazy super colonies." So we did these battles on Meridia, which was the hub of the super colony, where it was just freaking insane.
Yeah.
Like level 9s were like level freaking 20s.
Yeah.
Like you'd have millions of my computer would be like blah, because there'd be so many enemies on the planet. It was insane. But somehow we managed to do it. And they were like, okay, we have to turn off these towers. We have to stop the raid from being sprayed so we can destroy the super colony, yada, yada, yada. So we did that. Yeah. We basically reversed what we just did. And it's all part of the story. And then it turns out that basically it's too late. The entire planet is just one giant bug hub, and there's nothing we could do about it. We have to just destroy it. So they gave us this dark fluid. They say, go planet side, drill holes into the hives, and drop the dark fluid in it. We did that for what, 4 days, 5 days?
4 or 5 days. Might have been like 6.
Maybe a whole week. I can't remember exactly. We did that for about a week.
Yeah,
and
but during this time, this is still a classic Arrowhead, this mission where you had to drop the dark fluid into the pits was what they were bugged. The missions were.
Oh yeah, they
were. Go on there, and as soon as you would drop this thing, it would trigger this something in the mission, the spawns, and all of a sudden the sky would fill with shriekers, with the flying bugs. Literally just hundreds of them, and you had to like sort your way through this and get to the extract point and get out. It was almost impossible.
Except for the A-team did it.
And this, you were just insane.
That's when we met Bez.
Yeah.
Because Bez would fucking single-handedly run a 10 and just be like, oh, yeah, guys, no big deal.
How do you do that? It's crazy.
Bro, we know this guy. His name is Bezinator. He's from the Isle of Skye and over there by Ireland. Iron Man, sorry. Isle of Man over there in Ireland. And he started out, he doesn't do it anymore, but he started out playing the game, playing Helldivers with a racing simulator rig. So a steering wheel, pedals, gear shift, the whole deal. Like his feet would be the stratagems. his steering wheel would be running around. They're all hotkeyed. He rigged the whole thing up. It was when he told me about that, I'm like,
how do you do that?
What are you talking about? What? Like, that's insane. But he was the best player we've ever met. Still is the best player we've ever met. He can single-handedly run a 10 with no issue and just freaking complete it 100%, no problem. He is the best player on the planet. I am convinced. I can't imagine there's anybody else.
Sure. Yeah.
Top tier. Anyway, so we put the black fluid into the Meridia, and we freaking the big game event was that Meridia's done. We've done enough black fluid. It's going to turn into a black hole. So even if you were mission side, the game would force you to extract. You'd get on your ship, and you would watch from the bridge of your ship. You would watch the planet go.
Yep.
And it would just turn into that purple black hole that's there now. And that was the best pinnacle story narrative-driven event of this entire game for the entire year. Meridia was the best Arrowhead ever did. Even though it was bugged,
agreed,
it was still great.
Agreed.
And I want them to do that regularly.
Yep.
I want those really cool story-driven narrative stuff.
Big epic moments.
Big up to that everybody can kind of collaborate on and
mean things.
Yeah, and have actual consequences in game.
As repercussions.
Yeah.
Afterwards. Yeah.
That was the best. The other thing, should we talk about the creek?
Sure. That's what
we're going back. We're
came
way
right at the tail end of that.
Yeah, we came at the very, very end of the creek. I heard this rumor about this planet called Malevelon
You guys
Creek.
started when it launched, though, didn't you?
It was about a month later because it started in February. We got there in March, so it was about a month. There was a month period there where people were playing and it was building popularity, and that's when I was like, oh, I got to jump in. But there was this planet called Malevelon Creek, and we're not going in order of events anymore.
No.
We're all over the place, so I apologize. But there was a planet on bot side, and this is where I fell in love with fighting bots. It was for whatever reason. No, I don't think anybody even knows today. Maybe Joel knows, who's the dungeon master for the whole game. But the spawn rates on Malevelon Creek were hyper, like stupid hyper. Like you drop down in Malevelon Creek and you'd immediately be getting attacked by like 7 Hulks. And it became this weird, it was not a story-based thing. It wasn't an Arrowheads thing. It was just the player base.
Yeah.
The player base started talking about the creek. And then more players would be like, what's the creek? We're like, no, dude, you got to fight on Malevelon Creek. You don't know shit until you fight on Malevelon Creek. So we're like, oh shit, okay, I'm going to go fight on Malevelon Creek. And we go there and it would just be absolute pure chaos. And it was like Vietnam and World War II wrapped into one, because the planet was like this weird tropical purple planet. It had like palm trees and weird shit on it. So it kind of had that like Vietnam vibe to it.
Yeah.
But it was spacey. So it had like a weird like sci-fi vibe as well.
What faction was it?
Bots.
It was the result of what a player base can do with a little bit of imagination and
just love for the game.
And love for the game.
Yeah.
You know, people are writing songs about it. There's merchandise,
You can get a hat.
Malevelon Creek veteran hat with like medals and shit. You know?
And that
looks just like a
Vietnam vet.
A veteran hat. Like usually the real vets wear. And the thing that's cool about this game is that you and I, we in the A team, there's a lot of these guys are
a lot of them are vets. Yeah.
And and I was always worried about stuff like that. I was like, maybe there's a little stolen valor kind of thing going on or whatever. But no, they love it. They really are into it. And it was a really kind of a cool thing. And so now there's a whole
thing.
Are you did you fight at the creek?
Well,
damn right I did.
Here's the thing. So Arrowhead, in response to the player base having this like just amazing reaction to this one random planet for no reason, they actually created in-game special merch for only players that played on Malevelon Creek have the Creek cape.
Yeah, there's a special cape.
So there's a special cape that you get that I have, you have. He can't get it. So you can't get it because you didn't fight on the creek. No, you can't buy it either. That's the beauty of it. And that's what's so cool about it. Is like, I have that cape because I fought on Malevelon Creek. And there's like a whole mythology behind it that's all purely just based on the players. And I think that's something super special about this game that separates it from any other video game out there right now.
Right.
Is it just has that camaraderie for whatever reason.
Yeah.
We're just a bunch of just a bunch of gluttons for punishment.
Just real quick before we started recording, when you were out, he was asking, he's like, what is it about this game that you like? And I immediately went back into there's a social aspect to this game that I was missing from my old World of Warcraft days. You know, instead of 40-man guilds, we're you're playing with 4, but we have a squad of like 12 guys now that we play with, and it's a very social thing, and that's what is cool about this game. When I stream, people are hearing all 4 of us talk, and we're all 4 of us interacting with the chat, and all 4 of us are entertaining and doing what we do. And if it was just me, I think it would be a terrible stream. But with all 4 of us doing our banter and doing our thing, it makes it kind of fun and special. And that's why I like this game. Is there's a social interaction with it that gives you some camaraderie with your crew.
I like it because I'm good at it. I'm not good at a lot of video games, but this one, I can run with the best of them. And I don't know what it is. It's just inherently I took to this game and I was like, oh, I can play the shit out of this. And I'm good at it. And I know
you're natural at it.
Like when
it's taken me a long time.
When we first started playing, I remember I think I clipped the moment I put on Instagram or something like that because I thought it was funny because I was playing. You were dead, so you were spectating me, and I was running into this bot base, and I was like, and I was just freaking wiping the floor, and I was in the zone, and you were like, Jesus, bro. Like I just remember you being like, God damn, dude, and I'm like, I know, like I'm freaking good at this shit. This is awesome. So there's something about it. But one of the other events, and it's not really a big event, but for me it was kind of cool. It was when so Arrowhead regularly will try to release new enemy types in the game, and sometimes they're a surprise, sometimes it's a big announcement, whatever. Sometimes you'll just be running on planet, all of a sudden you'll see this brand new thing, and you're like, what the hell is that? And then it'll kill you, and you're like, oh, okay. I remember when the AT-AT started showing up randomly on maps, and it was like immediately the big factory striders, the big 4-legged walker things. And when I would be on bot side, and I'd see this freaking ship just drop this freaking straight out of Hoth Star Wars walker, and it goes,
oh
it has this giant loud sound, and I was like, it freaking.
And then it shits out 4 Hulks out of the bottom of it. You're like, oh my God.
Like, what? And I remember because they never announced it, they never talked about it. So as a team, we had to figure out what its weak spots were. So we were trying to shoot it with everything we had. We couldn't figure it. It wouldn't die. We just bounce off the armor. We were like, oh shit, this is crazy. But then once we figured out what now they go down like freaking nothing. We're like, oh, there's a puppy here.
Yeah, we call them puppies.
We call them puppies now. Oh, there's a puppy. They just dropped a puppy on us. And within 30 seconds, the thing's dead. So it was just funny to watch the progression of like, okay, we got to find the weak spots. We got to find this. We got to find that. We got to figure out how to best defeat each enemy.
I still want them to put in something in the game where these giant tanks and stuff can't sneak up on you.
Oh, the berserkers, dude.
It's just nonsense how quiet they are. I get killed so often on bot side by just some Hulk sneaking up beside me and going kapop. like what? Where'd that thing come from?
Judo chop.
It's nonsense.
Yeah. The ones that always sneak up on me are the berserkers. They have 2 chainsaw arms and they just run right at you. And I'll be sitting there, I'll be sniping, I'll be shooting from afar, and all of a sudden I'll be like, what the fuck? Where'd you come from? You have chainsaw arms. You should be making some noise. That's all.
Be some
Let's be like, oh shit, they're coming up behind me. I gotta go. None of that. They're just like super silent, but whatever. I do want to give a lot of praise to Arrowhead, despite all of the freaking fumbles that they've had this year. The game continues to be the most fun.
Won some really good awards.
Yeah. Best multiplayer game.
Best ongoing.
Best ongoing story play game, like that. Game of the year, whatever. Not game of the year, but
they won lots of really good awards. Gives us a reason to keep going.
Yes, yeah.
What other games do they have?
That Helldivers 1.
Yeah,
and Helldivers 2.
Helldivers 2.
Well, that's it.
That's it.
I think there's some other few.
Oh, I'm sure Shams and Piles that have worked on other games before, but Arrowhead specifically, I think they've only produced the 2 games. I could be wrong. I could be wrong.
I think there's some other stuff that they
maybe.
I don't know. It don't matter. Nobody plays those games. So,
but yeah, what else? Is there any other notable moments this year?
Probably, but it's okay.
Yeah, we've been going for an hour.
It's been a great year of playing Helldivers. I never thought I would find another game that kind of
scratch that itch, man.
Scratches it. So yeah.
What's your top 3 feature requests?
I want to be able to fight inside and outside buildings. You know, I want you know, we got our urban warfare, but it's still not quite there. We're just fighting in the streets, and they're pretty big streets for the most part. But I would like to be able to go inside and outside of buildings. I would like some underground kind of like cave type stuff. That would be kind of fun.
Yeah, I pitched an idea for a bunker buster mission.
Yeah.
In the game where you had to pair off. So 2-man team would hold the gate basically. You'd land, you'd fight your way to the bunker. You'd have to open the bunker with 2 men, and then those 2 guys would stay outside and fight off the hordes of enemies while the other 2 guys go inside this cave system, fight their way in, set off a bomb and blow up the bunker and then get out. And that's a mission I think is totally doable. People say, well, it's not really the type of the game because as soon as you go into the bunker, then you can't call any stratagems down. I'm like, that's the point.
Yeah.
Is that you're limited. Once you go underground, you are limited to specifically just your primaries and whatever you bring with you.
Yeah.
You can't call down turrets. You can't call down eagle strikes or nothing. You just got to fight.
That's a good thing, though, too, is constraints make games more fun. Having those limitations are good.
Yeah.
I also would like to see them implement their platoon system. I want to see what that's going to be like, because I miss the guild aspect of my old games.
Yeah, having like 8 to 16 people.
And that was the other thing I want to see. I want to see bigger squads. I want to be able to play with like up to 8 to 10 people on bigger maps.
That might be really tough though, because his machine when we were playing.
Yeah, well, his machine sucks. He needs to get a new machine.
My machine,
but
my rig is exactly the same as the one he was playing. Exactly. We bought it the same day.
Streaming though.
Yeah, I
was streaming on Discord. Yeah,
I don't think we're going to be able to get that until Helldivers.
Helldivers 3 is probably going to do that.
It's probably going to be on a newer, better, bigger engine, and maybe that'll come out before I'm dead when I'm 85 years old. But
well, how long do like live service games like this usually go? 5 years?
World of Warcraft just made 20.
Yeah, World of Warcraft's a different beast. Though. It's not the same thing.
I'm just gassed. So
I was like, because they have Helldivers 1. And that went for a couple of years, and then they went to Helldivers 2.
Yeah.
I think it's realistic to see Helldivers 3 come out in the next
probably
couple of years.
5-6 year development phase.
Yeah, they'd have to partner with Sony and get more people in there. They probably have to use a couple different studios.
Yeah, I know they're doing that now just to keep the game going live as it is. But yeah, just stuff like that. I do think we can probably. I would like to see them get like 6 people maybe to be able to play with. But
so platoons are more like alliance, larger groups in game. You said different game modes like bunker buster and
I want
inside of buildings and stuff like
that. Yeah. I want more mission types, and I want more story driven aspects like Meridia. That's where I'm like, I think the game is in a really good spot right now. I don't think it's suffering in any major way besides a handful of things that have always been a problem since the beginning.
And I also think there's room for a 4th faction that they can.
Well, they have Cyborg. Cyborgs is the 4th faction.
Well, I haven't seen any in the game yet.
Well, they're not. That's going to be a minute. They just barely gave us the Illuminate.
Yeah, I know. It's fine.
But Cyborgs is probably going to be popping back up here pretty soon. And
so they are doing that, like the different narrative, like you talking about the DSS and Meridia Creek and all that stuff. So they are doing it. Sometimes it's hit and miss. It sounds.
Sometimes it's hit and miss.
Sometimes it's always. Their thing is we're going to put this really cool thing out, and then we're gonna go, oh no, that really sucks, and they're gonna go, okay, well maybe we do to retool it a little bit.
Yeah.
And that's what they're doing right now with the DSS.
They're retooling it.
It's under construction. It's in the shop.
They forgot about it.
Or they can just let it sit there where it's at. I don't think anybody would care.
It sounds like what they need is a sort of like a beta tester group.
That's exactly what they need. They need a test realm.
So right after
log in and test it.
During the controversy of Escalation of Freedom, or Escalation of Disappointment, as we like to say, they said that they were going to be implementing test servers so that they could test these new
I haven't
updates
got
on
an
people.
invitation to it yet.
I haven't got an invitation to it either. And I tagged Pilestet and somebody else, maybe it was Shams, in on Twitter. And I said, hey, you need test servers, dude? I got a squad of 12 people who will run any difficulty at any point in time and give you honest feedback. And he liked it. He saw it. I mean, I don't know what that means. Really nothing. But they said it. They said they were going to do it. He acknowledged that I said that. Like, okay, good. As long as you know. But I'm like, they said they were going to do it, but then they never ended up doing it. So I don't know if it's still in the working aspect or they're still planning on doing it at some point. But I do think it could definitely benefit from having honest players go in and say, okay, this new update, it's good on paper, but here's some issues we need to rework before they officially release it and have the entire fan base go, this is freaking trash. What is this crap?
Yeah. Well, anyway, I hope 2025 brings us bigger, better, and funner and harder things to.
Yeah. Look, I'm still waiting for that day I get to fight on Super Earth, man.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for it. The bots are going to get there one day. I'm going to be ready.
Bigger, harder, longer.
Yeah, man. Okay, guys. That is our year in review. I know we've probably glazed over a couple things. We might have missed a couple things. So comment below your favorite part of the year in Helldivers. You guys have been an absolutely astonishing, amazing community for us at this channel. We're just about to that 5K mark, so please help us get there. We will be doing a giveaway as soon as we hit that. And yeah, that's it. There was something else that I wanted to say. Oh, very excited collaboration coming up. Next week or we're not talking about that?
No, not yet.
Why not? I already set the date.
Oh, okay.
Did you not read your DMs?
I guess not.
We are going to be collaborating with Cloudsplay, another Helldivers streamer and YouTube content creator. We've been in talks with him. He likes our show. We like his stuff. So I said, let's do something together.
Yeah.
So in the next couple of weeks, we're going to be getting together. We're going to be talking about what we're looking forward to the most, what we want to see in 2025. That's going to be the subject of our discussion. But he will be joining us, not live in the studio, but he will be telepresencing on the fat cam over here. He'll be on that screen, and we'll be talking to him. So looking forward to that. It's going to be awesome. Shout out to Cloudsplay. He's cool guy.
Just have a sign off.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. That's exactly what it is. Yeah. Good job. He's in. He's in. All right, guys. Thank you so much. Stay salty. We'll see you next week.
I like it. Yeah.